Thanks for starting your Tuesday afternoon with us. I'm Michael Aaron here with meteorologist Nathan Scott. And it's another pretty warm day. It was actually pretty nice out there this morning, though.
Yeah, it was a nice start to the day. And today, you notice there's not as many clouds. Yesterday we had clouds. Yesterday we had a few showers. That was all associated with Ida. Ida's out of here, and we've really cleared things out. We're going to see plenty of sun out there today. Although with more sun, it's going to be hotter around the region. Take a look at the visible satellite right now. You can see that shield of clouds continuing to exit through Mississippi into Tennessee, and we're seeing wall-to-wall sunshine all throughout central Arkansas. Here are the numbers now, warming up into the upper 80s to even 90 in Hot Springs. It's 88 in Pine Bluff, 88 in Clinton, and your feels like values, not too bad, into the low 90s, and they'll be kept in check today. So it will be hot, but it will not be humid. Here's a radar loop. There's the showers and storms associated with Ida swirling their way through the Tennessee Valley up into the Ohio Valley. Even still along the Gulf Coast of the Florida Panhandle, they're still seeing effects from this system. Watching some showers and storms dive their way from Kansas into Missouri. That'll be our next chance of rain. That could arrive here on Wednesday. Today, though, temperatures topping out into the low to mid 90s. I'll let you know what to expect more on Wednesday and for the rest of the work week coming up.
Nathan, thank you. The remnants of Ida continue to churn northward after leaving widespread power outages in Louisiana and Mississippi. You can see some of the damage right here. The storm is blamed for at least 4 deaths, and officials say that death toll could be much higher. Michael George reports from Bridge City, Louisiana.
Using boats and helicopters, rescuers are still searching for people stranded by Ida's floodwaters along Louisiana's Gulf Coast.
The ceiling in every room caved in, and it was unbelievable. 4 feet of water just came rushing in.
Cell phone video captured a hospital evacuation of about 100 patients. Inside of one of the transfer vehicles, they were stacked 3 rows high. Overall, the storm that made landfall as a Category 4 hurricane Sunday was a test of the region's flood defense system, fortified after Hurricane Katrina. For the most part, it held, but the region's power grid did not. This was a 400-foot tall transmission tower. After Ida, it's a pile of rubble. It's one of the reasons power is out in the New Orleans metro area. Supermarkets, gas stations, hospitals, they're all trying to run on backup generators. The storm knocked out more than 2,000 miles of transmission lines. Louisiana's governor says 25,000 utility workers are making repairs and more crews are on the way. But it could be weeks before power is restored.
I can't tell you when the power is going to be restored. But what I can tell you is we're going to work hard every single day to deliver as much assistance as we possibly can.
70-year-old falafalist Charles says he weathered multiple hurricanes in this home built by his grandmother.
They just start falling apart, blowing away on me. I ain't got a dry spot in the house.
Ida changed that, and now he says he has no place to go. Michael George, CBS News, Bridge City, Louisiana.
So much damage there. The devastation is compounded by the heat. The National Weather Service says it'll feel like about 103 degrees there in Louisiana today. Fortunately, Arkansas missed the brunt of the storm. Now several of our local organizations are heading down south to help with relief efforts. Volunteers from the American Red Cross hit the road this morning from Little Rock. They'll transport food and emergency supplies to communities hit hard by the storm. And 500 members of the Arkansas National Guard are being deployed to Minden, Louisiana today. It's about 30 minutes east of Shreveport. They'll be ready to evacuate people from southeast Louisiana using military vehicles that can withstand the floodwater.
It's part of service to your country, service to your state. We've got a long history of helping out our friends down in Louisiana, certainly after Hurricane Katrina came through back in 2005.
Some soldiers will leave Arkansas today, the rest tomorrow. And the National Guard says it will be in Louisiana until they are no longer needed. Other groups helping out include the Salvation Army, Sheepdog Impact Assistance, and the Southern Baptist Convention. We'll hear from some more of those tonight at 5 and 6. Hundreds of evacuees have already found some relief here in Arkansas. That includes 2 sisters from La Rose, Louisiana, who arrived in Pine Bluff with their kids on Friday.
We're ready to go. We actually tried to go this morning, but they said we wouldn't be able to get through.
They say their mom and dad stayed behind to ride out the storm. They're getting updates on social media. As for how long they'll be here, they were told it could take some time before they're able to get back to their home. And of course, the power outage is an issue too. The 20-year war in Afghanistan is officially over, and the Taliban is once again in control. Natalie Brand has more from the White House, where later this afternoon, President Biden is expected to discuss withdrawal from this country's longest war.
Major General Christopher Donahue, commander of the 82nd Airborne, the last American soldier to board a flight out of Kabul. The plane took off 1 minute before midnight local time, the deadline President Biden set to complete the withdrawal.
There's a lot of heartbreak associated with this departure. We did not get everybody out that we wanted to get out.
Thousands of Afghan allies and even some Americans remain in Afghanistan.
We believe there are still a small number of Americans, under 200 and likely closer to 100, who remain in Afghanistan and want to leave. We're trying to determine exactly how many.
President Biden says he decided against extending the withdrawal deadline because military commanders advised ending the mission as planned was the best way to protect U.S. lives.
I think if we'd stayed another 10 days, Louis, we wouldn't have gotten everybody out that we wanted to get out. And there still would have been people who would have been disappointed with that.
The Taliban declared victory as they took over the airport and the disabled military equipment left behind. A spokesman repeated claims that the Taliban will let Afghans with passports and visas leave the country, but refugees with families still there are skeptical.
The situation is very, very bad right now. I don't know where are they. I guarantee which they are not safe.
The U.S. plans to house up to 50,000 Afghan refugees at U.S. military bases. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, the White House.
The State Department says it's vetting all Afghan refugees who have landed in other countries before they're flown into the U.S. The president is expected to begin his address around 1:45 this afternoon. You can watch that right here on THV11. Governor Asa Hutchinson will hold his weekly update on Arkansas's COVID-19 response this afternoon. Due to the presidential address, we'll stream it live on our website, thv-at-noon, and on the THV11 mobile app. The governor will likely address a growing concern in our hospitals. While our numbers are going down, healthcare workers are still very busy helping critically ill patients. Yesterday, the state reported that 361 people are on a ventilator. That is the highest number we have ever seen. Here's a look at the latest numbers. Our summer surge is seeing a slight decline. As you can see by this chart, our daily cases are leveling off a bit, which is positive news, but now we would like to see that start dipping back down. Nationally, more than 100,000 Americans are being treated for COVID in hospitals. That's the most since last winter. There is a possible timeline for when kids ages 5 to 11 may be eligible for the Pfizer vaccine. The company could file for authorization in early October, according to former FDA commissioner who is on the board.
So that'll put us on a time frame where the vaccine could be available at some point late fall, more likely early winter.
While the policy is yet to be finalized, a CDC advisory panel is considering prioritizing booster shots for adults, much like that initial rollout of the vaccines, with high-risk individuals and healthcare workers in the front of the line. New at noon, an Arkansas family is suing Arkansas Children's Hospital and several doctors for what they call medical negligence after they claim the hospital did not adequately care for their 14-year-old son who died earlier this year. According to the lawsuit, Cedric Harris Jr. was airlifted to ACH following an ATV crash where his head was pinned beneath it. That resulted in a traumatic brain injury on March 23rd. His family says he complained about headaches and nothing was done to, quote, formally assess why those were happening.
I trusted what the doctors were saying. I'm at one of the best hospitals, and I trusted. But I was very concerned when I saw how he continued to hurt and nothing was being done.
He was pronounced dead on April 2nd. Around 38 hours after his admission, Harris's level of care was allegedly downgraded out of the pediatric ICU. The hospital also reportedly marked him as self-pay, despite the family informing them that they had insurance. The Arkansas Children's Hospital released a statement this morning saying, quote, Arkansas Children's does not comment on pending litigation. We share our heartfelt condolences with the Harris family as they grieve their son's death. Another story that is trending on our website, North Little Rock police have identified and are now searching for 2 women accused of trying to scam and rob people in a Kroger parking lot. Around 6:30 Sunday night, Adrienne Graeb says she noticed a dog was chasing a car after 2 women abandoned it. When she went over to see what was happening, the 2 women offered to give her the dog, and after that dog jumped into her car, the suspects allegedly began biting her hands, punching her in the face, and robbed her, stealing her phone and other items in her purse. Through it all, she is keeping positive and says she's thankful for the teenagers who stopped to record the whole ordeal.
So grateful for them. So grateful for them, and I told them they were like my guardian angels, and they stayed with me.
It's wild video there. North Little Rock police are asking anyone with information to give them a call. They're also urging people to be aware of scams like this.